Hi, my name is Adam Whitmer. I'm the founder and host here at ComplianceCohort.com. This compliance clip is going to talk about digital redlining. Now, what is digital redlining? Well, digital redlining is redlining that occurs digitally. Well, it's a little more complicated than that, but it's basically redlining that occurs because of something like a computer system, an automated underwriting system, or even artificial intelligence. So it's redlining that's occurring in the digital world rather than from a manual underwriting process, which we have traditionally seen in relationship to redlining. And in fact, digital redlining often relates to disparate impact, where banks are setting hard policies or using computer systems that appear to be fair, but the result, and it's not always intended, but the result is that discrimination occurs. And that's really what happens with disparate impact. In fact, disparate impact is a result of policies or procedures that appear to be neutral, but have the effect of redlining or fair lending or discrimination. So that's really the concern. Now, we're bringing this up because in our winter 2022 quarterly compliance update, we talked about all the regulatory activity that took place in the prior quarter, which was the fourth quarter of 2021. And in that quarter, in October of 2022, Rohit Chopra is the new director of the CFPB. He made some comments relating to digital redlining. And these comments were in a joint press release with the Department of Justice, the CFPB, and the OCC in relationship to a redlining case against Trustmark National Bank. And in this speech, Rohit Chopra, Director Chopra, gave a warning of digital redlining. What he said was this. He said, while machine crunching numbers might seem capable of taking human bias out of the equation, that's not what is happening. Findings from academic studies and news reporting raise serious questions about algorithmic bias. For example, a statistical analysis of 2 million mortgage applications found that black families were 80% more likely to be denied by an algorithm when compared to white families with similar financial and credit backgrounds. The response of mortgage companies has been that researchers do not have all the data that feeds into their algorithms or full knowledge of the algorithms. But their defense illuminates the problem, which is this. The algorithms are black boxes behind brick walls. When consumers and regulators do not know how decisions are made by algorithms, consumers are unable to participate in a fair and competitive market free from bias. That's what he said. So this is a real concern because more and more financial institutions are trying to become efficient through technology. And when that occurs, sometimes we're using tools that could potentially get us in a problem. Again, disparate impact is probably the biggest risk here because disparate impact is when you have a neutral or otherwise appropriate policy. It appears appropriate, but it has an effect of discrimination. So in this case, we're intending for things to be efficient, intending for things to be fair, but the bottom line result is discrimination. So that's what they're talking about. We've seen several different things related to digital redlining over the last several years. So the more and more financial institutions start to rely on technology, the more concern the regulators are going to have. Now, is fair lending going to be going away anytime soon? Of course not. In fact, the Department of Justice basically announced the launch of a new initiative against redlining. The new initiative represents their most aggressive and coordinated enforcement effort to address redlining to date. So the DOJ is really cracking down on redlining. And so if this is their most aggressive and coordinated enforcement effort, I don't think that fair lending is going to go away anytime soon. I've always said that fair lending is always a hot topic, but it's even more so a hot topic when we have some sort of financial crisis or in this case, a pandemic. What the regulators always do is they first, for consumer protection, go to fair lending. And one of those things that they've really been focusing on is redlining. Now, the initiative is going to do a number of things. It's really going to be focusing their efforts and trying to up the DOJ's enforcement on fair lending. And of course, you could expect if the DOJ, the Department of Justice, is ramping up their efforts on fair lending, of course, the other regulators are too. Now, maybe you're not regulated by the CFPB because you're not a very large bank. Of course, you're not. But The other regulators, the FDIC, the OCC, the NCUA, and the Federal Reserve, they all take a look at what's being led by the DOJ and the CFPB. There's this trickle-down effect in compliance. When one regulator does something, all the other regulators eventually catch wind. So fair lending is not going away, and digital redlining does appear to be a hot topic moving forward into 2022 and beyond. Now that's it. That's all I have for this compliance clip. If you're new to the compliance cohort, be sure to take a look at our website. We have a bunch of free training videos just like this for our basic members, and that basic membership is absolutely free. You get a ton of resources, free training videos like this, free articles. We have some giveaways, some contests, and some other things that we offer to our free members. We also have premium products, paid training in our store, compliancecohort.com/store, where we take deep dives into topics just like this. This was actually a topic right off of our winter 2022 quarterly compliance update. And those quarterly compliance updates are released every quarter, talking about all the regulatory activity that took place in the prior quarter, and it's designed to assist with your regulatory change management. So welcome to the compliance cohort. If you're new, if you're an existing customer or existing free member, thank you so much for being a member of the compliance cohort. You're the reason we do what we do. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks.